We often face problems with dividing numbers easily. In this video, we are going to know the specific ways or the easiest ways in which we can easily divide numbers. So even if it is any big numbers or any complicated numbers, we can easily able to divide it. So we are going to learn that method now. So we can move on to the video. So we want to divide 135 with 5. So we do not want to actually divide these numbers. There is a simple way to do this question without even dividing these numbers. First of all, when we look these numbers, we want to understand that if these both numbers are multiplied with the same numbers and then divided it, the answer that we will get will be same. For example, I will give another example. For example, 10 divided by 5. We all know 10 divided by 5 would be 2. So if we take the double of these numbers, the double of 10 would be 20 and the double of 5 would be 10, and when we divide these numbers also we will get the same answer too. Or when we divide these numbers with 3, so 10 divided by 3 would into 3 would be, when these numbers are into multiplied by 3, so both numbers, so 10 divided by 3 into 5 into 3 would be 15. Then also we will get the same answer. So if a number is divided with these both numbers, the answer that we will get also will be same, like in this case. So 135, we can just multiply these numbers. We can just make 5 into 10, 5 to 10. We can just transform 5 to 10 by multiplying it with 2. Whatever thing that we are multiplying to these numbers, we want to multiply to that another number 2. So there is also another trick to multiply 2 with 135. So 135 can be written as 100 plus 35. Right? So 100, what is the double of 100? 100's double would be 200 plus 35 double would be, the double of 35 would be 70. So 270 would be the answer. This is also similar to the division method of 2 itself. In this case, you are taking the double. In the case of dividing these numbers with 2, just take the half of these numbers. That's the only difference it has. So 270 divided by 10. So we all know that when a number is divided by 10, the zeros will get cancelled off, or the last digit of this number would be placed a point before it. So 0 and 0 would be cancelled off and it would change to 27. So using this method we can do this also. 200, and this would turn into 10 by multiplying with 2. This would turn into 10. 5 would turn into 10. So whatever thing that we have multiplied here would be multiplied here also with 2. So 200 multiplied would be with 2 would be 400. 70 multiplied would be with 2 would be 140. 5 multiplied by 2 would be 10. So 0, 5 and 5. 550 would be the answer. So 550 divided by 10 would be 55. 55 would be the answer of 275 divided by 5. It is so simple. We can move on to another types of questions. 300 divided by 4. How can we do this kind of questions? Here we have multiplied these both numbers with 2. Whatever that you are doing, either dividing or multiplying, do it same with both sides. So here I am going to divide these numbers with the same numbers. For example, I am dividing 4 by 2 and also dividing 300 by 2. So just taking half of these numbers in another way. So the half of this number would be 2. Half of 300 would be 150. So what would be the half of 150? 75. You easily got the answer of this question, 300 divided by 4. Likewise, we can also look at this question. The half of this number would be 2. And what would be the half of 700? 70's half would be 35. Write 0 at the end. And what would be the half of 350? Here also we can do, if you do not know how to easily calculate any number divided by 2, just split that number. 350 can be split into 300 plus 50. So the half of 300 would be 150. The half of 50 would be 25. Just add these numbers. 5, 7, 1. 175 would be the answer of this question also. How can we easily divide a number with 25? So first of all, if a number is given, if a number like this is given, first divide it by 100. If we want to multiply, if we want to divide these numbers with 25, first take that number and divide it by 100. Zeros would be cancelled out and 21 would be the answer. And then 25, if we want to reach to 100 from 25, how much would be multiplied? We want to multiply 4 to it. So what answer that you get, multiply 4 to it. So it would be 84. So the answer would be 84. There's one more question. For example, for 4500, how can we divide 4500 with 25 easily? First of all, we want to write that number like this, 4500, and divide it by 100. So two zeros would be cancelled out, would be 45, and then multiply this number with 4. So multiplying this number with 4 would be 180. 180 would be this answer. And there is also one trick also. If we want to divide this number 2100 with 50 also, we can do the same trick. We can apply the same trick, but in this case we want to divide this number by 100 itself. We will get 21, but instead of multiplying it with 4, because 5 into 4 would be 100, but 50 into 2 would be 100. So multiply this number into 2, so it would be 42. So these are the ways in which we can divide 25 and 50 types of questions. We can move on to the last and final question. 1400 divided by 8. So it is the same as the previous ones. So divide these numbers by 2. When we divide 8 by 2, we will get 4. Divided by, when the same thing, 700 would be the answer. 700 divided by 4 would be, in the previous step we had found it, 175. So the simple way, from this method we can analyze that the simple way to divide any number is to either half that number. If two numbers are present, either half that number. If it is not possible, as in the case of odd numbers, just into it, multiply it with 2, 3, 4, 5, any numbers you like. Try to particularly multiply that number. For example, if 5, you can multiply either with 2 or 4 or 6, right, in this kind of number, for example, so that you will get a 0 to cancel out in the end. So the answer would be simplified to you. So how much you make to simplify an answer, you will able to get the answer very quickly. For example, 135 divided by 5 would take some long time, instead of doing 270 divided by 10. So like that, try to do this kind of try to divide by using this kind of method, so that after a point you can easily able to divide any numbers, any 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit numbers. You can easily divide it, whether it is divided by prime numbers, any kind of numbers, you can easily able to divide these numbers. So thank you.